Give
So
okay.
There we go. Also send me at the end the video and the audio.
Okay.
all
Okay.
right, yeah. Thank you, Ron. Okay, so we're up to Gimel in Psicha Lavin. We're up to letter Gimel. We're listing all the Lavin a person regularly will transgress when he speaks Lashon Hara. You also transgress what it says in the pasuk. Hishama b'negad tzoras lishma moed v'lases. Hishomer is a lav. When it says Hishomer, it's right. B'negad tzoras, as far as the nega of tzoras lishma moed v'lases, upeitru b'sifra. And the Sifra says the mashkas of Torah lishmar me'oid. What does it mean to keep it or to watch it, to guard it extensively, very much? The intent is that we shouldn't forget to be careful, not speak lashon hara. You know, Chazal attribute tzaras to lashon hara. So how am I careful from the nega tzaras? Is by not doing things that brings the nega tzaras. So the Safra says that lishma moed refers to the fact that I have to be careful not to forget, not to speak lashon hara. And therefore, you're over on this Hishomer, this love, when you do speak Lashon Hara. Number 4, and that's always, right? Number 4, very famous posik. Don't put a stumbling block in front of a blind person. And we know that it doesn't necessarily mean only a blind person. Literally, don't put a piece of, a stone in front of the blind person, but it refers to mitzvahs and averos. Ki kolecha neisen michshol fnei chaveroi, shiavra alavin hamufrashim b'Torah. Right? Because when you speak lashon hara, the Mesaper and the Makabel, it's something that it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. It means that when I speak lashon hara, I'm causing the Makabel to be over on Kabbalah lashon hara, and the Makabel by listening is included in the love of. Now he says, there is a difference between Hamasaper and Makabel Bazet. There is a difference between the one saying the Lashon Hara and the one being Makabel in reference to this Avera. The Masaper over Blavze Beinim Hashayim Rabim, Bein Im Hashayim Oimautim. The Masaper Lashon Hara is transgressing this issue. He's causing someone else to do the Avera of listening to Lashon Hara, whether there's many people or one. It doesn't matter. It could be it's so much more if there's many. But even if there's only one person listening, will he be over on this love? On the other hand, and even more so, the more there's listening, he's transgressing this love so much more. Because he is putting this stumbling block in front of many people. Here's where the difference is. Efshir, he says it's possible. The one listening, it could be that he's not over the Slav of causing of Lifnei he's not over it unless, except, I don't know the right word in English, if he's the only one listening. And if he would just walk away, then the Mesaper would have nobody to talk to. So therefore, by him staying there, he's causing that Avera. But let's say there's a lot of people in the room. So after it's possible that so this guy is not transgressing it, because even if he left, the Lashon Hara would still be said, because there's other people listening. It's true. We'll be over on other lavin that we're going to discuss here in this psicha. But this specific one of the Iver, it's possible, says the Chafetz Chaim, he wouldn't be transgressing it if there's other people listening. That's true. If he came after the guy started talking already. But the first person that the Mesaper was talking to, even if other people then joined this very bad party, certainly the first one is the first makabel is transgressing it anyways. Yodei who's chalisa because through him the Aveira started. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I was thinking this thing is like, well, you don't know what they're saying is lashon hara until you hear them start saying it. So by the time you understand this lashon hara that you need them to stop saying lashon hara, you've already heard lashon hara and something to that effect. Like I remember being in that situation. Someone saying the same thing, and I'm like, oh, are you about to say something as lashon hara? And he said, yeah. So he stopped, which is fine. But
Yeah,
I had to know what the context he was saying. So how would
right.
you even go about this? You have to start every sentence. Are you about to say lashon hara? You know?
No, no. Let's say you don't do that, but the minute you do realize it's lashon hara, you have to figure some way of changing the subject. Saying, "Oh, excuse me, one minute, I have to go to the bathroom." I don't know. Once you realize he's saying lashon hara, you don't have to stay for the whole story. To the sweet end. You leave right away. You say, "Excuse me, I can't continue. I have to go." So I just remembered something. And sometimes it's very difficult. It really is.
Right, but
Sometimes it's very difficult. Yeah.
would there be an idea? Maybe it's in the book, but would there be an idea that, well, if I'm here, I could say something to refute what you're saying? Like I hear people say on certain various subjects of X, Y, and Z, and it's like, oh, well, if I walk away or I say stop talking, something like that, sometimes it would feed their need to say it, or rather, they wouldn't hear the counter argument to suggest why they shouldn't continue saying anything to other people.
Each case is different. There's no one recipe here. Some people want to say the Elul no matter what you say, but if you're the only one there and you leave, you find a reason to leave, then he can't talk to the wall, right?
Right. Yes, but we'll just find another group to audience.
Perhaps, but that's not your problem. Sometimes he's the type of guy who'll say, "Oh, thank you for." He has to be a very big guy. There aren't many people who say, "Oh, thank you for pointing that out. I'm happy that you stopped me." You won't find, unfortunately, many people doing that. Um,
Mm.
each case is different. But I'll call upon him. He
So
says,
why the passive aggressive kind of approach? In that find an excuse to get away, as opposed to say, you know what, I'm afraid this sounds like it could be lashon hara. Maybe we could speak about something else, or get out of it that way, as opposed to, oh, I remember I have to make a phone call.
It's like saying not everyone's ready to accept that teichacha from you, and then it's not going to stop. It's just going to make enmity and stuff like that. So if there's a way of getting out of it in another way, it's just the way people are. Over time, talk somewhere. I don't know where. I guess we're going to find it by putting your fingers in your ears. But he writes, but I know that that's very hard for to do, to stand there with you. So like that's where he discusses some other ways of doing things. Technically, if you hear lashon hara, you should, and you can't leave. There's no place to go. You're on the train, and there's no place to go except out the window, So you really should have to put your fingers in your ears. But he understands that not everybody's up to doing that. Just human nature. Okay. He says, in any case, he throws in, you have to be very careful not to join these parties. There are certain settings that that he talks in other places. He talks about, like, it seems in those days between Mincha and Ma'ariv. So there are the people who sit and open a safe, and the other ones go outside to schmooze. And it's pretty clear that their conversation's going to be lashon hara. What did they schmooze about already? About what happened that day, whatever. Right? So he says you have to be careful from these groups. So they should be mohon. They shouldn't sit with them. Kilamala. Now he says a very powerful thing. There's up in Shamayim, kulan neftam shem chaburas resha. There's a special chabura upstairs. You sign up. You sign up to be part of that chabura. And it's called chaburas resha. It's called an evil group. It says in Tzavos Rebbe Eliezer Godol, he wrote in his Tzavot to his son Hyrcanus, B'ni, My son, don't sin among people who speak bad about others. Because when those words go up, they're written down. And all those standing there, so not only is the Lashon Hara that's being spoken is written down, but you're written down as part of a group. And so therefore, he was saying here that if there's a lot of people there, maybe you're not over Kabbalah Lashon Hara, but you shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be there. Okay, let's flip to the back, to the second half of the Sefer. We're up to well, what are we up to? I mean, today we learned Yud Beis here. Did we? I don't remember starting this Perek Aleph over here, which is Yud Aleph Tishrei. Okay. Shmiras haLashon Chelik Rishon, and so he finishes Akdama Shar HaZechiro Perek Aleph Yud Aleph Tishrei. Perek Ze Yivor Tam Ma Hechber HaKos Bovin Zel Kol Kach. We're going to discuss here in this Perek, why is it that the Torah was so strict with this Aveira? Ksiv, it says in Tehillim, Miyah Shachafetz Chayim, Oiv Yom Liros Tov, Netzoshan Chameira. Uper Sham Afoshin. This that pasuk says, who's the one who desires life? We're talking about chayim means eternity. Yomim, that's already days, right? Is called days in comparison to eternity. It's a pellet. Why did the pasuk? Why did David choose to choose this avera? Right, to tell us this avera to watch, to keep away from it. And Miyah Shachavitz Chaim could be anything. It could be all the mitzvahs in the Torah. Why specifically this? There's 248 mitzvah says, and 365 also says. So and the Torah says about all of them. Hashem says about all of them. So they're all right. So why specifically? Why was this Avera, mitzvah Avera, separated? He says, based on what we explained in the Psicha of Sefer Chofetz Chaim, what we're learning now, as Riboy Halav and Ve'esen Churog Laver Oider Oven Amar Azeh, the amount of losa says and mitzvah says that you commonly transgress when you do lashon, when you say lashon hara, which is not true by other averos. You wear kilayim, you wear shanis, you wear shanis. That's it. I'm not minimizing, but that's it. You speak lashon hara, we're going to see there's a whole slew of losa, says a whole slew of essays, including 3 colors. So that in itself makes it stand out as something that's serious business. It's very understandable. Why? That David wanted to hint us in a general fashion. David was telling us in a general fashion to be careful with the mitzvah and mitzvah, and as far as in a general way the losas, the averis of bein adam lechaveroi, yards David Amel. So how do I do that? David gave us advice. What should you didn't tell the may rabbi hope brother. If this is a key to all the mitzvahs, says the Chofetz Chaim of Adam bein Adam l'chaveri. So the Chofetz Chaim, so says the Chofetz Chaim, that David HaMelech was giving us a key. How can I be careful with give me a trick, give me something I could do that I can be careful on all the mitzvahs of Ben L'Chavera. And he's telling us that if you're careful with Lashon Hara, that's going to give you the key, because the Lashon Hara encompasses all of them. It's a given. If I accustom myself to be careful not to speak about another one, I feel like you can only hesitate, because even if it's not causing me damage, and certainly if it's going to cause him to lose his parnaf. And also you be careful not through your Lashon Hara to embarrass him. And through your story, you be careful not to encourage Ma'achloikes, Shekozahu Rabbi Lashon, and similarly, all the Lavin and Esin that are encompassed here, Kanal B'Psicha is written in the Psicha, such a person can be careful also not to steal from the next person and do things like that also. If he's accustomed himself to be so careful not to hurt the other person. So this is really a key. He's already been careful not to cause the other person any bad. Certainly not actively to hurt the other person. So with time, start here and you'll be clean. It'll bring you careful not transgressing any of the Averos. So therefore, you can answer about the reason David HaMelech chose this as the halacha. If you're Chofetz Chaim, is because this is the key. This is the key to so much. Okay? Okay, we'll stop here.